Good morning from Peterborough station, where I did consider today doing a walk around this city, and I was going to start it one stop over at Whittlesea station, but I've instead decided to do a walk between the other two stations on the line in between Peterborough and Ely, and they are March and Manea. So let's go get the train. I will make no lame jokes about coming to March in the wrong month of the year. This used to be a much bigger station than it is now. There's a great timeline of history here. There used to be many different branches to different places, such as Spalding, which closed in 1982, Wisbech, which closed in 1968, and St Ives, which closed in 1967. And that in itself is on a disused railway line between Huntingdon and Cambridge. Brilliantly, you can still see disused platforms here which would have belonged to one of the other branch lines, and you can actually walk right across the old track bed here to access the platforms which still exist. Admittedly, this does feel like one of the parts of the country which suffered the most from the beaching railway cuts and whatnot of the 1960s, as there's many connections which are no longer possible, which would be handy today, and towns which have been completely cut off, like Wisbech. It's quite an important town with no railway link anymore, but I do think there's some sort of plan to bring back a heritage line on one of them, so that would be cool if that would happen. I could come back to March and ride that. Right, well, let's start our march away from March. It's not funny, I said I wouldn't make lame jokes. To Manea station. I've learnt from the announcements it's Manea, not Manny. Well, I start my walk today across this delightful little meadow here, close to the railway line. There's a lot of sidings here and freight wagons and whatnot. I can even spot an old signal box over there. So I've come across the River Nene, or the old course of the River Nene. The current one flows in a much straighter manner between Peterborough and Wisbech. When I visited Northampton, a lot of people in the comments told me that I was pronouncing the name of the river wrong, and it is in fact the Nen. But what I didn't realise is that the pronunciation of the name changes depending on where you are on the river. If you're on the Northampton side, it is pronounced as the River Nen, but if you're on the Peterborough side, it is the River Nene. So thank you to everyone who commented on that. And I am walking along the river into the town of March. But where does that name come from? Because it has nothing to do with the month itself. Well, it's derived from an old English word, meardy. This is where I find out I'm pronouncing that wrong as well, which means boundary, which in this case could be the river itself, or it could be referencing the boundary that a Roman road made that cut straight through the town here. I just wondered as I was walking along whether the month March had any association with boundary as well, maybe the boundary between winter and spring. But the origin of the name derives from Mars, the Roman god of war, and the Latin word for March is Martius, which was the name given to the first month in the original Roman calendar. Learning things on the go here. This is a rather nice little town area. I love the intricate design on this structure here to mark the very centre of March. It's time to leave March though, cross the boundary, cross the River Nene to continue with our walk. So there is quite a bit of road walking to get out of March. It's interesting to come across one of these signs here. Seems like flooding is a regular issue, considering that they have a specific sign for it saying how deep the water is. Luckily it doesn't seem to be a problem today. So I've turned off of the road onto one of the old railway lines that I can walk along towards St Ives, not the one in Cornwall that I went to exactly 1 year ago. And it seems like they're building new houses right beside the old railway here, as there's already new builds around here, it seems. Oh, beautiful. I'm glad we got some good views across the countryside as I walk down this path. I mean, usually when you're on the train, trees block your view a lot, don't they? Seems like there's also a bit of a remnant of the old railway. A post which probably would have had some sort of wires connected to it. Oh wow, there's a goat in there. Didn't think we'd see that today. That's unexpected. Oh, I'm getting all the wildlife now. There's a fox on the path ahead of me. I'd love to get closer to it, but it's going to run away, isn't it? It pounced a minute ago off the path like it was trying to catch something in the bushes. Oh, it's seen me. Hi. I can hear rustling. It went into this bush somewhere. Oh wow, I didn't even notice all of the wind turbines behind me. Crossing over a little stream. It seems like there's a lot of factory buildings and whatnot over that way. I can't believe how many animals I'm seeing. That was a deer that just galloped across there. You know, there's a lot of flies and wasps on this path as well, so they're more animals to add to the list. But also, I spy a horse hoof down there, so we may see one of them as well. I will say I very much enjoyed having this path to myself. I've done a considerable amount along it, around a couple of miles. I'm also pleased the weather's been very nice because it was a bit questionable earlier in the week, and some places today I still have a chance of rain. Luckily I don't, but this is where my old railway path comes to an end, as the railway south of here uses the alignment of it, completely decimating any remains of the first station on the line, Wimblington. Which means I'm going to turn left here away from the old railway. I won't be going to St Ives today. I did say earlier that it would be good if some of these railway lines existed today to provide connections between places, but to be fair, the Huntingdon to Cambridge line, of which this one connects up with at St Ives, has been turned into a busway, a road dedicated to just buses, which means they can do the journey quite quickly. I'd like to ride one of the bus routes along that one day. That would be fun to do. Well, I think I've got an answer as to what them big factories were. Down this public byway brings me past Wimblington grain store. Wow, the silos, I guess you'd call them, are massive up close. I must have come across a nursery here, right? Where they grow crops in a sheltered area. Oh yeah, I can see all the plants that they've grown in there over there. It's a big site. I can see all the wind turbines again over there. I've got one long straight path ahead of me now, with a stream beside the path too. This is glorious, such a nice day. I was thinking as I was walking along that it seemed like the stream ended very abruptly, but that's not the case. It's just passing underneath this little trail here and carrying on, and so will I. Oh, I got a name for it for you. My Strava map calls it Harding's Drain, just in case you wanted to know. Oh, I guess this is my path down because I see a footpath post over there. Oh, I'm really glad I've come out here today, because when my alarm woke me up this morning I thought I can't be bothered, but I was awake, so I thought I might as well. Oh, that is very sun damaged. That's not a focusing problem, believe me. Aha! I can see a train all the way over there. I'd like to say that means we're getting close to Manea, but it isn't. So I've made it on up to what is probably the only notable feature on this walk across the countryside, Stonea Camp, the smallest Iron Age hill fort in the country, at only 2 meters above sea level. There's a great information plaque here that gives me more of the history. There's a great map of what it would have looked like. This is what it looks like now. Roads such as Aikman Street, which is now the A10, and canals like Cardyke, maybe that's what them streams are that we keep seeing, were built at the same time to transport supplies north. Stonea is the only Roman town found within the Fens, excavated by the British Museum from 1981 to 1985. I think it's very cool to see the ditch and the bank still here, and I think this is a very good spot to sit and have lunch as no one else is here, apart from the sheep. It's a neat fact that this is the lowest Iron Age hill fort in Britain, but not too surprising when you consider that we are in the Fenlands here, very flat countryside. If this part of the country is notorious for anything, is that it doesn't have enough trains, it doesn't have enough footpaths, which we'll see in a moment, and it is very, very flat, which is very different to my walk last week up on the South Downs Way. There was a lot of elevation gain. Today, there's not going to be much at all. There did actually used to be a Stonea station in between March and Manea up until 1966. This very much reminds me of the Roman town of Silchester, which I visited a couple of years ago, because that was in the middle of nowhere too. And it was pretty cool because you could walk right alongside the old walls that surrounded the place. Oh yeah, I guess the fourth thing this area of the country is very notorious for are these very straight watercourses. This is the widest one of the day, and I have to head right down this beside the road as there really isn't that many footpaths over to Manea. I did struggle to come up with a way to end this walk today, but at least I can go alongside this water here. An original idea for today's walk was to just head straight to Manea on the train and then reverse just to tick off the station and then do a circular walk around March, but then I've persisted and found a way through to Manea. There just is a lot of road walking ahead. To be fair, it's a relatively quiet road. There's not a constant flow of cars coming through. I can put up with this. Well, seems like I'm leaving Stonea behind. I'm almost at the end of this road stretch, but there's another longer one coming up in a minute. Well, I'm also saying goodbye to the water now as I'm turning left along another long road in towards Manea. This is very much reminding me of a walk I did to go and visit the least used station in the country in 2017, which was Shippy Hill, because I thought it'd be a good idea to do a 5-mile walk along a road like this from Littleport station. But that really was the first of its kind, a trip like this, doing a walk, visiting stations, like a butterfly effect, leading me to do these walks now. And honestly, it's not that bad, because there hasn't been that many cars, I say as a car passes. But it's just nice to be out in the middle of the fields. It's still really nice. It's still a really nice walk. Well, that was about 2.5 miles of road walking in total, but I finally found my footpath off of the road towards the village of Manea. Well, that's kind of it for the countryside. It's been funny because it's just been flat all day. I've just been seeing the same landscapes, but it's time to finally re-enter civilization. See, I knew that Manea had a village sign. I was going to say a whole thing about how it felt like I was on a pilgrimage just to come and see this sign today, and it's gone. Great. Well, okay, straight along the road again to the station because it's just nowhere near the main village. I can see a train up there going through a level crossing. I think this is the road I walked up all that way. Yeah, Wimblington Road. Well, at least I'm almost at the station. Oh, I did not expect to see abandoned cars as soon as I pull up to Manea station. There's a fire too. Sorry, who did that then? That's a station car park, to be fair. I wasn't expecting that. The station does actually remind me of Shippy Hill a little bit. It's quite a narrow platform. There's a little waiting shelter in here. Oh, it has leaflets. Do love a good leaflet. What have we got? Oh, walking maps. Oh, for March. Oh, perfect. Is there a... Oh, there is a Manea one. Great, you know what, I'll take some of them. This is a bit of an awkward station. It only gets a train every 2 hours, and the one I want towards Peterborough, which is in about half an hour's time, so I have a little bit of a wait, is the last one of the day in that direction, so I have to catch it. There's birds making nests up there and they're so loud. I'm glad I've made it here for that train. But what a great Easter Sunday walk that was. A bit of a random one. I feel like if I did the Peterborough one, I would have ended at the cathedral, which would have seemed more fitting. But saying that, I did pass the property earlier where there was a family which had hidden eggs in their garden for the kids to find, which I thought was quite sweet. I remember when I was a kid and my parents would hide chocolate eggs around the house. I've always kind of liked hide and seek scavenger hunt games like that, so I think I was always more excited about Easter morning than I was about Christmas morning. That's saying something. Anyways, I await my train now. I just hope this doesn't turn into a Finstock situation. Oh yeah, I can see all the plants over there. Is it? It's not focused. There's plants in there. I promise you.